I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't accept that. You wouldn't talk about my child like that. My child is a well brought up child. I mean, whose child is not well brought up these days? Now, this attitude of always defending your children as opposed to, scolding them in the presence of people, do you think it's a good narrative now? I mean, our parents always supposed to be advocates for their children, even when they do wrong. And is it helping the overall development and upbringing of this said child or children if there are more than one? So you may want to look forward to that conversation. But for the first hour, we'll be talking about vetting domestic staff members before employment. Something happened in Ogun State, a very, very tragic incident where the domestic staff they came together, they joined forces to kill their madam. I've often questioned how unregulated that space is, especially in a country like ours. Now, while the other day we're talking about them receiving minimum wage of 70,000 naira, as stated by the House of the Senate, rather, the fact that there are various ways to source for domestic helps. Most of the time, it is via recommendation, and there is no in-depth knowledge of these people before they become employed by us. We don't know them down to their hometowns. They don't necessarily need to submit a CV. The basic requirement to get a job as a domestic staff is, can you do the job? If you're going to be a cook, can you cook? Or you cook one food, make I see. And you make the food, and it's delicious, and that's it. Oh, you say you are a driver. Let me see your driver's license. So you are drive, let me see. Oh, you're going to be a housekeeper. Clean the house, let me see. Basic requirements, right? And you go about bragging to your friends that, this person sabi walk. This person, they walk where. But, do you know where this person is from? Any idea whether this person has a criminal record in time past? Who can you hold responsible if this person engages in theft? And what can we use to vet, character of these said persons who are going to be working with us? And they're going to be quite personal because they're going to sometimes live with us and be a part of our family. So to ensure our safety and the safety of the entire household, where do you source your domestic help from, and how thorough are you with the vetting process of this domestic help? So that's our first conversation. The 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock hour, some recorded program. So go on a commercial break. When we come back, conversation starts in full. Stay tuned.
For more talk, news and sports,
the employment scene or the employment space would usually have certain parameters for recruitment. Sometimes an ad is put out and people who are eligible would apply. An interview would happen, be called for. They would have the interview, they will present their CVs. Some organizations go as far as finding out exactly who this person is before the hire. You're supposed to supply the names of some referees who they would reach out to. They would even go as far as reaching out to your previous place of employment. For some organizations that are thorough, that is. Yes, so you had worked with Emerald Energies before. I hope there's no real company like that, so it doesn't seem like I'm doing promotion for them. You had worked with Emerald Energies before, and you're applying to Info Consults, for instance. So it's stated there, they will reach out to Emerald Energies and say, okay, so so person, she was your staff member. Oh yes, we know her, or we know him. Okay. So just out of curiosity, because we're looking to recruit, what was her conduct like? Was she a thief? Was she a criminal? Was she involved in some sort of fraud and blah 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 blah? And then they would say, oh, she's a very, very good. So why did you let her go? Oh, well, she needed opportunity for growth, and I'm sure your organization, I'm sure some organizations do that. Or don't they do that anymore? Okay. Whether or not they do that, but they have their instruments for judging character, competence, professionalism, expertise, and all of that. But you see, it's quite different for a domestic staff. You see a gate, some people are bold enough, use somebody, a link, it didn't work out, someone recommended, someone brought somebody, all of these things. The only thing I was able to do was take the person for hepatitis, HIV, because this person, like I said, was going to be around I don't know them to the homes. Someone usually will recommend. The most I will know is they are probably from Ogoja or Bakri or Choba or give me a place, Ikorekbene or somewhere. I never really went down there to be sure that they were from those places. A few times I came in contact with their parents. So think about all the domestic staff one person could get. And think of the possibility of opening up your home, your lives, and your families to total strangers. Now, it's different from a workspace. This is Nigeria Info. I've been recruited here. I come to work when I'm supposed to come to work. I sign off at 3, and most times after 3 o'clock, I'm out of this premises. Whatever happens in this premises after I'm gone may or may not be my business till I have to show up at work the next day. How intimate, no, scratch the word intimate, how personal or how deep the relationship I have with my colleagues may not really matter that much. My direct boss, I can walk to his office, right? But there's a limit to the kind of conversations I can have with him. How about overall Oga Kpatakpata? Some of us have never seen him before. We've been here for years. We only see the picture and say, oh, that's the person that owns this company, right? Some of us have actually seen him before from a distance. Some of us have been in close contact with him. But what do we know about him besides what is put out on the media, or in the media rather? So there is not much of a close connection to be able to plot or devise some dangerous activities or some what's this popular there's this popular robbery gang in a series. I'm trying to remember their name. So I'm not thinking in that line. It's not even my business. I just want to come to work, do my job, and leave. And I believe that is the same for some people who work in some organizations. Whereas your domestic help will most likely live with you in your house. And even though they don't live in your house, they're supposed to show up at work first thing in the morning and leave maybe sometimes late at night or whenever it is that you want to relieve them of their duties so they can go tend to other needs, maybe their personal lives. But you see, let us not rule out the fact that they are most times recommended. But for those who eventually hire them, how much is done to ensure the safety of you and your household? The police in Ondo State have arrested 2 domestic staff of a popular caterer, Olakumbi Adene, over the murder of their boss at her home in the other area of Akure, the state capital. The suspects, in their confessional statement to the police, said they murdered their boss after she prepared a sumptuous meal for them 2 days after she celebrated her 54th birthday party. According to the suspects, their boss decided to treat them to a meal to appreciate them for performing their duties well at her party. It was after they ate her meal that they teamed up and killed her. She did no wrong. She said, Una don't try, yo. Oh, you people did well. You made, oh my goodness, come and eat. Let's be merry. Let's thank God and all. That was all she did. And then they ate and they killed her. The suspects were arrested after police detectives tracked her 2 Android phones stolen by them after the murder. A police officer who is privy to the incident and spoke on condition of anonymity said the first suspect was traced to Indanre, where the driver was said to have fled, while the second Android phone was tracked to Akure. One of the suspects said the 3 of them, driver, Pierre, and another friend, went to their late boss's house, who cooked for them on that fateful Thursday, and after eating the delicious food, they descended on her, gouged her mouth, and used 2 big cutlasses they brought along to cut her head while she was pleading to them to spare her life. The suspect said the generator was on between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. and the deafening noise of the generator did not let others know. They said they covered the deceased's head with the duvet and continued hitting her head. They let her cut her wrist and leg. Not only this, the suspect said the other 2 were with knives. They started stabbing her stomach, chest, and breast. Now, I can't even go into all of the details. Now, this is one of the things they did to tell you that they had been with this lady long enough to know that generator set is going to be on at a particular time. So it's going to max whatever noise is going to be made. Now, they did that and they thought of a way of covering their tracks. Now, this is what they did. They wanted people to believe it was a fire accident. So they went to the kitchen and lit the gas with matches, then opened the gas from the cylinder and emptied the gas in order to make it explode. Then they covered it with rubber cloths to make it burn the whole house so that people will think it was caused by gas explosion from the kitchen. But the gas cylinder did not explode as they planned. They then took her ATM cards and 2 Android phones and fled the scene. Yeah, her husband and brother spoke. They took her to the mortuary and they said an autopsy would be done. And then they were all privy to the confessions of the criminals, or domestic helps, or whatever we want to call them. They knew this woman. They knew her. She trusted them. Driver, probably privy to her phone calls. PA, probably. So they know her that much. But do you think if she had done a better job at vetting, she would have found out something suspicious that will make her not hire these people, who would in turn harm her. Now, while we are pondering on that, I think it was last week, there's the daughter of a popular, is it a judge now, who also got murdered by domestic helps, allegedly though. I think they escaped or something at her home. So you see, it's a lot of things to process, and we need to start asking the right questions so that we don't, in the process of looking for help that we would pay for, invite danger into our homes. So again, I ask these two questions. How much vetting is done before you hire domestic help? For those of you who have had, I've been able to share my experience and tell you how far I had gone with the vetting. Yeah, for one, I was able to get a guarantor, and I was at peace with the person that was, said to be the guarantor. For the other, I could only hold on to the person who brought her because I paid for them to find her for me. And then, okay, just those two. So, how did you source your current domestic help or the previous helps you've had? 0817 923 0002 and 0817 923 0003. WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809 0306416. Again, WhatsApp and Telegram number 0809 0306416. On X, we are at Nigeria Info PH, and Facebook page remains Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Do well to turn down the volume of your radio set as you call, and also be audible so we can hear you. Like I said, if you're unable to get through to us via the phone lines, you can watch us live on X. Our X handle remains at Nigeria Info PH, and our Facebook page is Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Watch us on YouTube as well. On YouTube, we are Nigeria Info PH. Nigeria Info, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Okay, good morning. Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Sorry.
Good afternoon.
Okay, if we want to go by your question. My name is Victor.
Victor from Umukushi, you're welcome.
Okay. So now, if we want to go by this question you are asking, did you know that you can get all the recommendations and then also have the person very good come into your family? But did you know that wrong company that you keep around your house may corrupt her to that extent? Because now, if you want to check what is happening here now, did you know that out of that, maybe that woman has employed like maybe 6 or 8 domestic staff. Did you know that it might be one among the 6 or 7 that corrupt the rest of them? They may come from a good manner, well training, somebody recommend, whatever, name them. But we can have one egg there that corrupts the whole system. Because, see, bad idea is easy to buy. Somebody can just come in and say, see this madam, or look at it. You bring some useless idea that like the other person will buy. When the first person buy, the second person buy. Because this thing that you see happen now, it may not be planned yesterday or planned 1 month ago. It might be planned for a decade, in short, for a very long time. And the idea must have been brought by just one person. And the second person buy. The third person buy. Maybe the fourth person may not buy it, but they threaten him. The fifth person, just like that, before you know, everybody are overshadowed by that madness. Before you know, they execute it. Before you know, they have done it.
Okay. Zion from Jerry. Welcome, Zion.
Yeah, just good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you.
this area of vetting, most of us have failed. All we do is to just put phone call and they looking for vibration to eat with you. They will be privy to certain information from your house, from your place, from your business. And you go around one person, they will loot you. If they don't manage to clan gangs to pick you, to just delete you and get what they want. But when you fed them to their village, they will not run. If their parents are dead, know where they buried them. Now yet them buried in Papa, now yet them buried in Mama.
See, you don't get it. You don't get it. Let me be honest with you. I was very desperate at some point in the month of January. Do you understand what I'm saying? I had someone who I thought was faithful and was going to be loyal, because I think she was with me from June, and then she asked to travel in December to go and see her people, which was understandable. And she said she was only going to be away for 2 weeks, and I just made up my mind, okay, I'll just manage for like 2 weeks. Guess what? I did everything a good madam will do for this said person. You know, December bonus, December package, giveaways, rice, everything. And then she travels. And she was even giving me updates. Madam, I don't reach so place. So I say, this one will come back. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Remember when we had that conversation of when they go for Christmas, they don't come back. I never thought it was going to be my case. She go to the village. Her mom spoke to me over the phone. Madam, thank you. My pikin talk all the things where you do. I thought she will come back. January hit me like this. Post. She didn't show up. Guess what? I started talking to everybody. And they find person, no. Even if the person will come today. I was that desperate. So in my desperation, what if I had come in contact with somebody who will come into my home and lift up the foundation of my house and carry it and run away? No, the thing is that sometimes most of us are at that point of desperation when looking for these helps. So I will not be the one going to your village to go and see where they buried your father and mother.
I know that I think that point of desperation has been the vulnerable angle that we have brought in some unscrupulous elements to our space. But if they have come, what? Investing?
Network. Someone says, I source my domestic help through visiting their villages and seeing things for myself. Last year, my few talks, but thanks to God, I overcame and started employing such a passerby, Elliot from Choba. Didito came in late again. What's the deal? All these latecomers, you people will be paying us money to be going back and forth. We're talking proper vetting of domestic staff before employment. This is because recently it has been in the news of how domestic staff have, combined effort or collectively or come together to plot and harm their bosses to the point of killing them. Kurt from Uniport, welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon, my sister.
Good afternoon, Kurt.
My heart goes to that lady, first and foremost. But I have to say, we have to rest in peace.
Amen.
But it's not all about how we praise our domestic health, or how we screen them, or how we know their parents, their family they come from. It's not all about it. Even your own sibling, your own brother, your own sister can do also the same thing that happened now as we are discussing. Because we trusted their family. How are you going to screen somebody who from the same family with you? But sometimes it happens. Sometimes something can trigger them. Somebody may be good, but in workplaces, something can trigger that fellow to choose to go a criminal way. So I believe it's not of being careful. If most of us are working in industry, the criminals, they know our data. But yet, some criminal activities play out. It's all about prayer. And God should guide you and give you a better setting.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's all about prayers. Alfred Egele Ingere says, these days people don't care about proper screening of the staff, more especially their domestic workers. But I thought the proper way was.
You see what the child was my neighbor. Anytime I leave them, I go to work, I come back. My new baby. I don't even go to work. When I go to the market, I've not started working. So I've dropped there, and then she was. If you see what so many bad reports, even in my presence, I said, what is this? I was forced to send her away. I think let me carry an elderly woman that will come in the morning and leave in the afternoon, in the evening, in the night. There is nothing I did not try in my own possible way. Pack all my things, kitchen utensils, give Mama, everything to make Mama happy. All of a sudden, Mama started getting unnecessarily angry. I don't know whether she started comparing me with her daughter. I don't know if because the month she doesn't have a cancer, maybe a month. She says for just 3 months. Maybe is a day. If I don't withdraw, give her money, that day is a problem. If I just drove the camel back, I was watching her secretly. Do you know that? Oh my God, it's not just something I will really say out. I just said, Mama, that evening, I gave her money. It was all I said, Mama, don't come back again. She was playing. I said, no, Mama, don't worry. Again, she left. From that day, Denise, I said, any work that will kill me, let it, no problem. If I'm going out, I'll pick up the daycare and then go and do whatever I'm doing the next time and go and pick all of them together. So the expenses are back. For me, Denise, what I'm trying to look for now, sales girls, I've looked, if I don't follow that girl to her house and ensure that she's staying with either her mother or her father, she just finished on her uncle. Or one came the other day, said he's staying in a church close to me. I said, no. I don't say, ask my pastor now. My pastor knows me. I said, my dear, church is not somebody's house. Church is not your papa's house. Pastor is not your father. You can decide to leave anytime. So if I don't follow the same girl to know her house, what is my own? I must know your parents. That's how I bet. I think for sales girl, not for herself. For herself, it's a no, leave this house. Okay. Any work that my children cannot do, let it stay there.
Okay.
But for sales girls, I must know your house. If I don't know your house, your parents, it's a no for me. I don't need anybody to work for me.
I must know your house. If your parents know that your madam is coming to know your house, do you think they are going to act otherwise? Do you think they are going to tell them that this is my child, they thief? Or I mean, I've had an elderly help, and it ended in theft. She was caught red-handed. She was caught in the act, stealing from me. Did she know how to walk? Yes, but she did thief.
You are tuned in to
Nigeria Info.
We'll be right back after this.